WHTL, are you ready? From the deepest woods to the open waters, from the rocky trails to the snowy tracks, if that happens outdoors, we're talking about it. From fishing to hiking to hunting to trail riding, we cover it all. Brought to you by Petrick Service Station, Holden Sporting Goods, Black River Express, Moe Hardware, the Levis Drum Rail Riders, the Elk Ride and Gun Club, Triplo County Economic Development and Tourism, and the Associated Conservation Clubs of Triplo County. So tighten up your boots, check your hook, and fire up the engine. The adventure starts now.
That's right, everybody. The adventure does start now, and I've been waiting for this version of Get Outdoors for quite a few weeks now. We got Bria Pank in the studio, Mike Gilbertson, and Dad, who's the eye candy over in the corner.
Yeah.
Did you say Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. Mike told me to write it down, and I didn't, and I just blanked it. So, good morning, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. Good to be here again. Yeah, it is fun to be here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We had Bria in a couple weeks ago and talked elk hunting, and we're going to do it again today.
Yeah.
Hey, the one thing I wanted to start with, because we did this a couple weeks ago, but I think it's pertinent to the story. Elk were reintroduced in Wisconsin in 1995. They brought 25 elk up. I think they came from the UP, that first herd did, up by Clam Lake. UW Stevens Point was big into having it happen. And that herd did pretty well. 20 years later, they entered into an agreement with Kentucky for around 160 elk, and that's when they put 70 or so elk here in Jackson County, in the southern herd, they call it, Black River Falls, Jackson County Forest. And then a couple years later, they released another 90 elk up near Winter, up above Ladysmith, to kind of bulk up that herd a little bit. The first hunt, DNR hunt, was in October of 2018 in Clam Lake, so this is the 8th hunt. And last year was the first hunt in Jackson County in the southern herd. And supposedly they feel like right now there are some 400, 500 elk up north in that or in what they call the northern herd.
Wow.
So, in order to get an elk tag, you apply, send in a $10 non-refundable fee, by the way, and then you're in a random drawing for 4 elk tags. And this year, for that northern herd, 17,737 people applied for 4 tags, and Bria got one. And Jeremy was big in getting it started, okay, and getting everybody signed up for the tag and things like that and filling out the applications. But I think that's an interesting story. They called you, is that right, Jeremy? The DNR did?
Yes.
Tell us about that phone call.
Well, actually, it was on my way home from work, and my phone was ringing. I look at the number, and I don't recognize this. Should I answer it?
Okay.
Type of deal. And I decided to answer, and boy, am I glad I did.
So they called you and told you that, and did you think for a second you might have been getting pranked or something? I mean,
not necessarily pranked, but I was wondering what the conversation was going to be about.
Okay.
And he mentioned that he was DNR elk biologist.
Okay.
So then it kind of clicked.
Okay.
And I got pretty excited right away, and he told me not to get too excited. It wasn't my tag, it was my daughter's. So.
Well, then he called you and about scared you half to death. You told that story. Tell that story.
Well, I was at home because, I don't know, it was during the summer, wasn't it?
It
or
was
just
in June.
about.
Yeah.
So I was at home and I get a call from him. He's like, I gotta tell you something, but I can't tell you till I get home. So I was like, what the heck is he talking about? He walks in the door, he calls me downstairs like, so remember when I told you I put in for an elk tag? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, we're going elk hunting in October.
And there were a few hoops to jump through as far as getting, vetted and whatever you want to call it. But and then you had to go up there and scout around a little bit, look for land and look for elk, right?
Yeah. I put on a lot of miles, spent a lot of gas money.
Yeah.
Initially, just driving around, getting the lay of the land, and looking at different areas and just getting familiar with things.
You've been, and I know I had it written down here too somewhere, but it's hundreds of square miles of land up there that the elk kind of travel, right?
Yeah, I guess I couldn't tell you for
Yeah.
sure on the acreage.
But it's the Chequamegon National Forest, the Nicolet, and then you're over by, you
We
wound up
were-
hunting over near Winter in the Flambeau, more, or near the
yes,
Flambeau,
mainly
right?
the majority of our hunting was in the Flambeau Forest.
Okay. You found land and you found elk.
Yeah. Primarily, we hunted public land.
Okay.
Just one evening, we sat on some private ground and didn't actually see anything that hunt, but the rest of it was all on public.
Okay. And so then you go up there. We had Bria in here a couple weeks ago. Their volleyball season ended that weekend. And then you had a knee operation, a meniscus issue. How's that going, by the way?
It's good right now, getting
Okay.
better.
Okay. So that presented some challenges when you all went up there. I remember seeing a picture of you pulling her in a wagon. Did that happen the whole weekend?
Actually, for our number one spot that we were hunting or seeing the most activity was probably the best route to get her in there was for her to ride in that wagon.
Yeah.
It was about a mile from the truck to where we were hunting, so crutching it was not really an option.
Was it a very smooth ride?
No.
No, I'll bet not. Bumpity bump. But okay, and then you had a chance at an elk like a weekend earlier, right? And that just didn't come to be. But that was a good encounter.
Yeah, we were in our usual spot we go to, and we came straight from home. So it
Okay.
was like a Friday night we were up there. It was right before dark, and there was a nice 6x6 out. And we just had I usually shoot with a tripod shooting stick. And
Okay.
we just had like a single shooting stick. So I just couldn't get on it good enough to get a shot.
Okay.
But we did see, that was mine in the back, wasn't it? Yep. But we did see the one I ended up shooting about 200 yards
Yeah.
away. But he thought it was too far.
Yeah.
And it was before dark, and I wasn't even steady on the close one.
But when
so.
you had shot at the first one, I mean, that was a really close, really good encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Did that get you a little juiced up, a little I mean, you know what I mean? Because my question is, did that help, by having that first encounter, did that help calm you down for the next one, I wonder?
No.
No, it didn't matter. Okay.
No.
Okay, so you had a chance that weekend. Now, the following weekend, you had to go because last weekend, you weren't going to go because you went to the state volleyball tournament, right? Okay, so the weekend before that, Halloween weekend, right? That was the weekend that you saw your bull, and what time of day? And tell us about that day. Were you out all day that day?
We drove out in the morning, but I can't walk yet still.
Yeah.
So we just kind of drove around and stuff, looked at some spots. We kind of sat in the morning for maybe an hour.
Okay.
And then we went to go to our usual spot, and there was a truck parked there. So we
Uh-oh.
couldn't hunt there anymore. So he's getting all mad because he can't figure out where to go. So we just started driving around. We were driving down some logging road, and he's like, oh my God, there's elk in that field. So he stops in the middle of the road. He's like, I can't park here. So we pull down a little bit, and we're trying to figure out how to get over there, where to
Okay.
go, because it's in a clear cut,
Okay.
pretty far away. And then we pull down. We see a little, what would you even call it? Like that trail.
It was a dike that they had to cross waterway
Oh, okay.
to a log landing, and then from there was a couple hundred yards out to the clear cut. So
Okay.
there were some trees and brush between us and where the elk were.
Okay. And that was by wagon?
No, he
That
could.
was by, did you walked in
We
then?
were still in the truck, and then
Okay.
we saw that brush and stuff, and he's like, well, you can't walk over that. So he put me over his shoulder
Okay.
and carried me across that dike. And then he had to carry me, go back, get the gun, get my shooting sticks, get all the stuff. And at this point, I didn't see the bull. He did. And he's like, oh my God, we heard him and we saw him, but he was too far away. And we couldn't see where he actually was. But we were making noise and stuff, and there was probably 20 cows in the field. And
Okay.
we were making noise trying to get all our stuff set up. And one of the cows barked. So we're like, oh, we're done, because they got spooked and they started running away. Well, as soon as the cow barked, that bull bugled.
Okay.
And he's like, oh my God. So he tries to call him in.
Okay.
You ended up getting him 100 yards closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bugled back at him, and he just didn't like that.
No.
He got mad, and he got in between us and his cows. and he's trying to get his rangefinder out and all of that. Well, I'm set up and stuff, so I just shot.
Okay.
He wasn't ready. But I was ready, so I shot, and then he kind of stood there, so I shot again, and then he kind of jerked back and ran about 100 yards still in that clear cut and just kind of tipped over.
But you saw it go down.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And so, again, was that pretty, I mean, that gets your adrenaline going a little bit?
Oh, for sure, especially how we had to get over there.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. And when I saw him come out, it was just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I know we had a picture of it. I think I don't know who took this picture up north of of Bria and the elk, but it was just a great shot with the sunset in the background. It was a little later in the afternoon that you shot it, and again, it's so beautiful up there to begin with, the country and stuff. So that, yeah, there you go. That's the shot we were looking at. So then you had to register it, Jeremy, and this is an interesting story too, because you had a lot of conversation going with that DNR biologist.
Biologist.
And turned out to be a really helpful fellow, from what I heard.
He was a great guy. He was very involved with the whole process. He would usually weekly check in just to see how things were going and how he felt about what was happening in the hunt, and just.
Did you have to check in with him when you were out there?
We needed to call him if we shot or harvested an animal, and so I had sent him a text after she had shot it. And we took some pictures and stuff, and then I informed him that she had shot a bull.
Okay.
And his reply was, "I'll be there myself in an hour and a half." So
okay.
He actually came out with a couple other people, and they took samples of various things, measurements of the animal, and there were a few things that we needed to do on our end also with the harvest, like lung, liver samples, tissue. They took a tooth. I'm trying to remember everything that went down. But
what's interesting to me, as I recall from talking to you before, they knew this bull very well.
Yes.
It had a collar on it, and they had been, now the collar was no longer working.
No. He said the collar had quit working about 6 years ago, but they were tracking with trail cameras, and it traveled with the herd. So other animals within the herd had collars that were working. So
a 10-year-old, I believe you said?
Yep, he was 10 years old, born in Kentucky, and moved up here as a splake.
Okay.
They tell me.
In 2015, 2016-ish.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 when
maybe
made the move, but it was probably
a
year and a half, 2 years old at that point.
So then you called in your posse to come up and help help drag it out and stuff like that. Pete and Dean and your brother and.
Yep. So the crew came up from Whitehall, and then there was a couple of local guys from that area that helped out also.
And you brought it home. Now we get to some more of the really fun stuff, Brian, because then the following day, you had it out to the shed here, at Sansala Outfitters, up here on the top of the hill or whatever we want to call it. But you had it at the shed, and boy, there were so many people that stopped by and wanted to get a look at it, and it was really a fun day. And we had some pictures there that I think really put it into perspective as well, how big this elk was, filling up a truck bed and stuff like that. You had to hang it from the tractor bucket in order to skin it.
Process it, yes. Skin it and get it quartered and start the.
We tried to weigh it. It was kind of hard to do.
Yeah, we weighed it on the truck scale. So it ended up approximately 600 pounds.
Yeah,
is what we came up with.
600 or so, field dressed and stuff like that. Yeah, there you can see it hanging from the tractor. And again, that really to me gives it perspective as to how big an animal that is.
Yeah,
and all of that stuff. And so these guys, this is what they do. They literally cut it up that day, quartered it and stuff like that. Now, you told me a couple of weeks ago that you were feeling a little jealousy from Ian in this whole thing, right? I mean, come on, come clean. You said.
Oh, he for sure was. There's no way he wasn't.
But he came right up there on Saturday night, or Saturday night to help you drag it out, and then he was there all day Sunday helping quarter it and stuff like that. There's a picture coming up of him holding a backstrap, and I just think that gives it such perspective as to how big of animal these are, and that's going to be a lot of meat to process. Jeremy, what do you end up doing with something like that?
Well, a lot of it is just packaged with roasts and steaks, and the trimmings they had ground into just burger.
Yeah.
And then eventually here we'll get some sausage and snack sticks and stuff done also.
Okay.
And you can always drop them off to me and Mike. We'll take
there
some.
You go. They were showing. There's a picture of Ian in that backstrap, and he doesn't look jealous at all there. He looks pretty proud, if you want the truth.
I think he was just happy to be a part of it.
I think so
cool.
too. Well, as we told folks, it is literally a once-in-a-lifetime trip, because now that you had a tag, you're not eligible to apply for one again.
Nope.
So in your lifetime. So that's really quite a thing. And the other thing that I think is really neat about it, Jeremy, and you've experienced this way longer than I have, but just getting together with everybody on Sunday that was out there who helped process or helped take pictures. There were some other guys that shot deer that weekend that had them up there, and just that deer camp feel of standing around and enjoying it, it was pretty special, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's probably one of the best parts, if you ask me. Camaraderie and hanging out with the guys and telling their story.
I don't know if he has that picture of everybody and their deer there, but it was a really successful weekend. It was Halloween weekend, like I said, and Brock Sluga shot a world-class buck here, sort of in the area, and then Tom Winju and Dean Sensala both shot deer that weekend also, and so it was a really successful weekend out there. And like I said, just there's a picture of the gang. Yeah, Bria and her elk. And if you go left to right, that's Brock Sluga. Then on the other side of Bria, Tom Winju and Dean Sensala. And yeah, it was just a fun day and stuff like that. The other thing that I think is interesting about this is that you got to spend a lot of father-daughter time together with this too. That had to have been fun, memorable. Let's put it that way,
sure.
if not always fun. Huh? How's that sound?
No, that was good. We were at the cabin a lot over the last couple of weekends, just the two of us, and Mom was at home.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of part of it too. I learned this at some point, is that at some point in life, if you want to see more of your children, you start doing things they want to do, because you can't make them do everything you want to do. And so it is fun to find things that you have in common and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people helped you. Anybody you want to give thank yous to and stuff like that? Just everybody?
Starting with probably just the local people up in that area that you'd stop and talk to bear hunters or guys you see on the road, and hey, you ever see any elk around here? And everybody was very helpful. I mean, everybody wanted to tell you what they knew and try and help out, especially when they heard that the tag holder was a
young lady.
Yes. Yep, that helped. And Dalton Lingen would be one.
Okay.
He was a local guy from this area that now lives up in the Ladysmith area. He was one that he sent me some Onyx information, map places that he had seen elk and was seeing them at the time we were hunting and stuff. So that, and then of course Dean Sensala and Pete and the guys that came up and helped out with hauling the elk out of the woods.
Yeah. They said there was a lot of grunting. There were like 6 guys that had a hand in the sled, and there was a lot of grunting going on, getting at the back of the pickup, I heard, Well,
I was hoping that, she said he carried her in over his shoulder. He was going to throw the elk and her over the shoulder, but not this time, huh?
That happened, no.
and for all of the criticism that they get, the other thing I remember from talking with you here a couple of weeks ago is you thought the DNR was really helpful and really easy to work with up there on this.
Yes, they were.
And like I said, they get a lot of criticism, sometimes, but that's a tough job too. And so, and I think like up there, what's their main? Do the more get hit by vehicles than then I mean other predators. I know there's more wolves and stuff like that up there.
I would say that the wolf is probably the biggest factor.
Yeah. Well, it was quite an experience. I'm glad you got to enjoy it and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you, I'm just saying, this is the kind, you could win a lot of bar bets in your lifetime. Just by, you start getting around guys that are talking hunting and this and that. You just slowly say, yeah, I shot an elk once. I was only 16, but I shot one once. And you're going to have people grabbing for their wallets. Baloney, prove it. Oh, boy, you carry that picture with. I'm saying. And the other thing I told you here is I want to be her agent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
there
or representative or something. You know what I mean? Because Cabela's or Mossy Oak or somebody ought to be all over this girl. Right? Am I right?
No kidding.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, we get...
Be a great spokesman for him.
I'm saying, we'll have to talk, man, because I think she'd be great at it, because I think she's a great representative of the sport and of young ladies and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know some other friends that hunt and stuff, and I just think it's great to see everybody out there. Yeah, good for you too, Dad. That was a good trip. I'm sure, but I don't know. Those are the things I wanted to touch on. But if you had any other thoughts?
Yeah, anyone else? Anyone you want to say hi to while you're here?
I think you covered about everyone that helped.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, if there's anything else you guys want to cover, we can cover that now, or we'll let you get on down the road.
Come back in sometime, maybe. You got other hunts planned this winter now, or what you got next?
Not so much, I guess.
No.
Wisconsin whitetail.
Get through deer hunting here. It'll be a fun month coming up.
Yep. Well, let me and Mike know when the big elk feed's going on, and we'll definitely be there.
We'll have something like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming in. This is always a fun time when we get the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Gilbertson in here with us. So we're going to get back into the hits right after this.
Start your day with the good stuff.
All right, make it extra large, 2 sugars, lots of cream.
Coffee with Brian.
Somebody said something about coffee.
Brewing up music and more.
Coffee